Zach, happy to have you on our show today. And I want to kick it off for our audience and talk about working with Sandia. But, most of the time, the first thing that people want to know is what is it that you buy, right? Where are you spending money at? I know a lot of small businesses are curious.
Yeah, absolutely. We are primarily a research and development facility. So, as you can imagine, we buy a lot of equipment and machines that help us do that research and development. Everything from testing equipment, machines, and computer software and services that help us to gather data and do analysis. We also have a tiny part of Sandia that does some manufacturing. So we buy a lot of material that goes into that manufacturing as well as the machines that help out as well. We work with a lot of machine shops. We are coming into a phase here at Sandia where we're going to be doing a lot of construction. We have a lot of aging facilities. We just celebrated our 75th anniversary, and so did a lot of our buildings. So we're going to be updating quite a bit of that infrastructure. So, small projects, big projects, everything in between, and we need construction companies to help us out. We have a lot of contractor staffing or staff aug companies that perform quite a bit of services for us. And then finally, we do purchase a lot of commercial products, everything from computers and computer peripherals. We always like to say that we're a little city out here on Kirtland Air Force Base in Albuquerque, New Mexico. So we buy a little bit of everything, but these are primarily the things that we purchase. And really to the tune of almost $2 billion last year that we spent in subcontract related payments. So 1.7 billion to be exact, out of our total operating budget of $5.2 billion. And super proud to say that we spent over $1 billion with small businesses, which
Wow.
accounted for about 67% of our procurement spend. And as follows, about 65% of all of our suppliers are small businesses.
So let me ask you this. Is there room for new small businesses to start working with Sandia?
Yeah, absolutely. So every year we add anywhere from 350 to 500 new small businesses to our supplier network. So we're constantly going to events both locally here in New Mexico, regionally, and nationally, looking for small businesses to help us with our unique national security mission.
What are some of the misconceptions that small businesses have about contracting with Sandia?
That's a great question. I don't know if there are misconceptions necessarily, but there's a lot of businesses say that it's hard to work with Sandia or with the Department of Energy because of some of our requirements. But those requirements are necessary for the type of work that we do for the country and our national security mission. So it depends on the type of work you do as well. Construction work can be challenging because you have to have an office here in New Mexico. But I think other than that, we've made it pretty easy and streamlined some of our procurement processes to make it, relatively simple for a small business who wants to participate.
Can you walk us through your team and who we should be reaching out to and talking to and kind of the roles that everyone has so people know?
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll start with me. My name, again, Zach Michaelson. I'm Sandia's Small Business Program Manager, but I do have a great team of 6 individuals here at Sandia who are here to work with our small businesses. So we've got 6 supplier relations specialists, each with sort of their own area of expertise in how they support small businesses and how they support Sandia. So Patricia Brown in the upper left there, she's primarily working in our nuclear deterrence systems and construction procurement primarily. Leo, he works in national and global security, supporting those procurement departments, as well as international procurement and some of our corporate strategic procurement agreements. Brandy, she specializes in all of our IT procurement. Megan Weaver, she specializes in all the purchases that we make that are under $250,000. We call those our streamlined acquisitions. And then Marina and Marie they lead our mentor protege program. So we have a very healthy mentor protege program. We have 4 proteges currently that are working with Sandia. And so they lead that program and helping our proteges find opportunities to do work for Sandia.
So it looks like to me that you follow a lot of the federal agencies and what they do in terms of mentor protege, simplified acquisition, right? R&D, facilities construction. Kind of that's what I'm seeing here by looking at it. The question I have is though, when should someone reach out to any one of these individuals?
Yeah, I think if you happen to specialize in one of the areas that we've talked about, or if you happen to sell or provide a service that I talked about a little bit earlier, it'd be great to reach out to one of these individuals. We also have a general email address that you can email and request a virtual one-on-one with anybody on the team, and they can help to point you in the right direction, help you get your foot in the door, help connect you with the right folks so that you can start to have those conversations, share, your company's capabilities and past performance, and see where there might be a fit, so that you're aware of the next opportunity when it pops up, and you're able to participate.
Can you walk us through the I-Supplier and the business opportunity site?
Yeah, absolutely. So, great question. How to do work with Sandia? So, there's really four things that we tell folks. Number one, we want you to create an account in I-Supplier. That's our supplier portal. Every agency or every lab within the Department of Energy has their own supplier portal. That's going to be a place where you put in your general information about your business, your tax information. It's going to be where you invoice us. We also would suggest subscribing to our business opportunities website, where we post opportunities as they come up. Being familiar with what Sandia buys. So listening to this podcast is a good first start in terms of being familiar with what we buy. And then finally, attending either an outreach event that we're going to be at or one of the ones that we host. So registering an I-Supplier, relatively simple. And no need to write down the URL. We'll actually have a QR code here at the end of the presentation to make it a little bit easier. But you go to www.sandia.gov, click on partnerships, then prospective suppliers, supplier registration, and then register here to start putting in some general information about your company. We'd also suggest regularly viewing our business opportunities website. You can also subscribe to it. So when we post something in your NAICS code, an email will automatically send to your email inbox, letting you know that Sandia just posted an opportunity in one of your NAICS codes. You can do that once you have an I-Supplier account. You can type in all your NAICS codes to make sure that you're signed up to receive those automatic notifications when we post something in your NAICS codes.
So they're only posted here inside of I-Supplier. They're not posted on sam.gov.
Correct. We mostly post our own opportunities to our business opportunities website. Every now and then we'll post something to sam.gov, but a majority of them are only to our own business opportunities website.
Are there any common mistakes that people make when registering that you want to kind of like let people know so they can avoid?
My biggest recommendation would be writing your password down somewhere or remembering it. I think that's probably the most frequent troubleshooting help that our supplier registration folks get is I need help resetting my password. So
you want to take us back to the mission of Sandia and their program portfolios?
Yeah, so we're a multi-mission national security laboratory with 5 main sort of portfolio areas. So nuclear deterrence, that top right one there, that's really where Sandia got its start. Most people have probably seen the movie Oppenheimer. That happened in Los Alamos, New Mexico, just about an hour and a half up the hill from Albuquerque here. So we sort of branched off from Los Alamos. We're located here on Kirtland Air Force Base in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And our primary mission area is nuclear deterrence. We have a global security portfolio. We have a national security program portfolio, energy and homeland security, and then finally, advanced science and technology. We're sort of a unique space. So we aren't government. We're not the feds, but we are owned by the government. So there's a couple of ways that people refer to us, either as an FFRDC, which is a federally funded research and development center, or a GOCO, which is government owned and contractor operated. So Sandia Labs is owned by the government, but we're operated by a company called NTES, which is a wholly owned subsidiary of Honeywell. But FFRDCs and GOCOs really exist to sort of independently execute whatever mission they've been given by the government, and making sure that we're staying up with industry standards and sort of moving at the speed of industry while providing a super important mission and service to the country. And for Sandia, that's really around national security and nuclear deterrence.
Does that impact any of the things that we're talking about here in terms of small business and the applications and I-Supplier? Does any of that change because it's ran by a private corporation?
No, I mean, we're still subject to the FAR, just like anyone else. So there are some differences in terms of contracting with us versus contracting with the government. But again, what I focus on there is that, we exist to move fast. And so, some of the things that you might encounter with government contracting might be a little bit different when working with Sandia and tests really.
I know in your slide you have the top 10 NAICS codes. Can you kind of walk us through that?
Yeah, we'll skip ahead here again. Yeah, so we talked a little bit about, what do we buy? So in terms of, data, we're able to pull our top NAICS codes. So again, being an R&D facility, our top NAICS code is around analytical, laboratory, and instrument manufacturing. So all the things that we put into our labs help us do that research and development. Mentioned construction earlier, our second NAICS code here, lots of aging infrastructure, lots of new buildings and updating old buildings. So custom computer programming services, electronic computer manufacturing. So lots of things around computers and computing, engineering services. We have quite a few engineers here on site, and we do hire that work as well. Facility support, as I mentioned, we're a little city here on Kirtland Air Force Base. I mentioned machine shops earlier, computer-related services, electronic component manufacturing, and then again, R&D is kind of rounds out our top 10.
And I think the next slide is showing us the upcoming opportunities page.
Yeah, so this is actually we took the screenshot a few days ago, and it's already out of date. So there are some more opportunities on our business opportunities website, but this gives you an idea of what it looks like. These three are on there, and I believe there's 2 or 3 other opportunities on there at the moment. But it's going to tell you what the NAICS code is, how we're competing it, what the title is, when it was posted, when it's going to close. And then you can click on that ID there to get a little bit more information about the statement of work and what's going to be required if you're interested in responding to that opportunity.
It's funny. I have a student that does the prefabricated metal building, so I know she'd love to see that storage container post.
Yeah, absolutely. Forward it along.
And also it's interesting. I see that you have sources sought, so you really are modeling a lot of what the federal government does on their side.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. You'll see a majority of ours that come through are going to be set aside for small business, as I think is indicative of the money we spend with small businesses. 67%, again, of all of our procurement dollars go to small business. So we really do have a healthy small business first culture here, not only supporting the small businesses here in our community and around New Mexico, but across the country. So it's very important to us and very much embedded in our culture.
What about like innovation? Are you buying any type of innovation at all? New technology?
Yeah, I mean, yep, absolutely. So we do have 15,000 people that work for Sandia. So we have a lot of scientists and engineers, and so we're doing a lot of that in-house, but we're also purchasing it as well. So in 2025, if you're not innovating and looking at ways to do things with AI or other types of automation, you're falling behind. So definitely we're very much operating in that space right now.
How does someone find those opportunities? Is that just what's coming out, or is there a way to approach you to talk to that? Do we reach out to someone on the team, right? How do we handle, I guess, that process?
Yeah, so reaching out to someone on my team would be a great first step. We have some insight into what's coming up and what's needed and what capabilities are needed in working with the various divisions around Sandia and the procurement departments that we support. So I think reaching out to someone on my team, talking about your capabilities, maybe some past performance or examples of work you've done with other agencies would be a great first start, and we can connect you with the right folks.
That might be a great to the next slide, right? Is that the contact information?
Yeah, so real quick before this one does have the contact information on it, but before I talk about that, I would just want to talk about, I mentioned earlier, attending one of our outreach events is a great way to get your foot in the door with Sandia. So every spring in March, the March timeframe, we do a big opportunities fair here in Albuquerque. We actually have all of our procurement departments represented, hosting a booth. And so those are going to be our buyers, the folks who are spending the money. They know what's coming up. They have a good idea what capabilities their customers need. So you can, talk to the buyers, and they usually bring one of their technical customers with them. So it does give you the opportunity to talk about your company, maybe do a demonstration of your capabilities, or talk about some of your past performance. And again, that's every March here in Albuquerque. And we haven't nailed down a date yet for our next one, but as soon as we do, we'll start advertising that event, and Eric will be sure to share it with you as well,
Please.
so you can share it with the listeners. But in the meantime, I mentioned a couple of times you can reach out and meet with someone on my team. The easiest way to do that would be to email supplier@sandia.gov. We monitor that account daily, and we conduct anywhere from 30 to 40 of these one-on-ones, virtual one-on-ones with a supplier, so they can introduce us to their company, talk about their capabilities, and some of the great work that they've done, and we can help see if there's a fit for them at Sandia.
No, I think that's great. I think that's excellent. So that event, what are some of the other events you have coming up?
We're still nailing down our FY26 travel schedule, but we'll be at the Society of American Military Engineers Small Business Conference, which typically happens in November.
Yep.
I believe this next one is in Phoenix.
Okay.
We typically go to either the National 8A Conference, or we've been to the Regional 8A Conference up in Alaska. We support WeBank and the HUBZone event. So, we'll be at most of the big hitting small business events around the country, either hosting a booth or participating in matchmaking, or both. And then again, our big one in March, where we will have all of our buyers hosting a booth. We also invite all the other labs within the DOE. So last year we had 10 labs hosting a booth. So if you're interested in getting in with the Department of Energy, it really is a good event to go to. It's free. All you have to do is get yourself to Albuquerque, but you have the opportunity to meet with us, as well as potentially 10 or more other DOE labs, plants, or sites.
No, I think that's great. No, so this slide that you have on the screen, this is the supplier registration and a business opportunities website. But you said you have to be in I-Supplier to see the business opportunities, correct?
You have to be an I-Supplier to register for those notifications. But you can view the business opportunities website without an account.
Okay.
But if you want to subscribe and get those email notifications, you do have to be registered in I-Supplier.
Okay. Okay. No, this is great. I appreciate it. Anything else that you want to tell small businesses, kind of to prepare them in advance of what they should bring to the table? What is it that ideally you'd like to see?
Great question, Eric. And I love it when people ask that, because I certainly know what I look for, and I know what my team looks for. I think the best way for a small business to be prepared for one of the events, or one of the, if you're doing a one-on-one with us, is to be able to articulate what it is that you're really good at. We occasionally will run into some companies who say, I can do anything. I can do everything. Whatever you need, I can do it. And that doesn't help us. I think being able to articulate the 2 or 3 areas where you're really an expert, you're really leading, in that industry, whether it's in manufacturing something, or a service that you provide, or a product that you sell, being able to articulate those 2 or 3 things that you're really good at, where you're an expert, helps us to be able to remember when we're talking with our buyers or our procurement departments. I met with a company who can do exactly that. They've got great past performance, across federal procurement. To get you in touch with them. Whereas, if you come to us and say, I can do whatever you need, it's not as memorable, and it doesn't sort of stick out for us when we're meeting with our customers, trying to help them find a small business supplier.
Is it the same process that I see a source of SOT, and that you're wanting the rule of two or more small businesses applying source of SOT? Is it the same process? Okay.
Yep.
Good. All right. So then you highly encourage small businesses to respond to source of SOTs.
Yes. Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely. Yeah, we do our best to push them out to small businesses that we've met with, or that we track in our database, because we definitely want small businesses responding to those.
No.
And we'd also encourage you to let us know if you've responded to one. Please let us know. Email supplier@sandia.gov, or email one of the folks on the earlier slide if it's in one of their areas. Let them know, hey, I'm a small business. I met Zach, or I watched the podcast, and I'm responding to a source's thought. We'd love to know so that we can work with folks on our end to make sure that they're seeing that they're responding to the source's thought.
No, I like that. Thank you. I appreciate that. The Navy, they do a good job of that as well. Their small business office, they're like, hey, let us know so we can track that we're getting people responding to these things. So that's good to know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anything else you want to say to small businesses before we close out today?
No, I mean, I think right now is a great time to participate in what Sandia and the Department of Energy and the NNSA are doing. Lots of opportunities coming up again in the construction area, but really across the board. So we have a super healthy and robust small business program here, and we have no intent on slowing down. So love the opportunity to be on here today with you, Eric, and to help get the word out about Sandia's small business program.
Zach, I appreciate you. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, of course. Good seeing you again.
Same here. Pleasure.